ॐ श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Anybody hasn't chanted in a long time? Okay, Girish Menon. Go ahead and unmute yourself. We will chant from number 15. Evam jnatva kritam karma
एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म
पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः
पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः
कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं
कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं
पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतं
पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतं
किं कर्म किमकर्मेति
किं कर्म किमकर्मेति
कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः
कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः
तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि
तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि
यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्
यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्
कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यम्
कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यम्
बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः
बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः
अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यम्
अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यम्
गहना कर्मणो गतिः
गहना कर्मणो गतिः
Karmanya karma yah pashyet.
कर्मण्य कर्म यः पश्येत्
Akarmani cha karma yah.
अकर्मणि च कर्म यः
Sabuddhiman manushyeshu.
सबुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु
Sayuktah kritsna karma krit.
संयुक्त कृष्ण कर्म कृत
Yasya sarve samarambhaha.
यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः
Kama sankalpa varjitaha.
कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः
Jnanagnidagdha karmanam.
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम्
Tamahuh panditam buddhaha.
तमाहुः पण्डितं भूताः
Tyaktva karma phala sangam.
त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गम्
Nityatrupto nirashrayaha.
नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः
Karmanyabhipravrittopi.
कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि
Naiva kinchit karoti saha.
नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः
Yeah. So we are in the 4th chapter. In the 3rd chapter, as it concluded, Krishna mentioned about the importance of this Atma Vidya. Evam buddhev param buddhva. Like that, he concludes the 3rd chapter. And such a person, knowing that Atma, knowing that Param Brahma, that person is free. And knowing this, you fight. Like that, Krishna ended. And then he continues, therefore, the importance of that Brahma Vidya by giving a parampara. He's saying, he was telling Arjuna that, no, this is not something new I cooked up for your sake. Mahabharata, Ramayana is version 1. Mahabharata should be version 2, right? So, and then many versions maybe in between, who knows. And so I've improved now a lot. New and improved, like that they say, shampoo. I don't know what is there to improve in a shampoo, but anyway, new and improved shampoo is there. We'll accept that. But Krishna says there's nothing new and improved here. Evam parampara praptam. I'm teaching you whatever I taught. Vivaswan, etc. This is what he said. And then Arjuna's doubt, how could you teach Aditya Devata? How could you teach all these people? And Dasharatha was lived 7,000 years before you. So if you say 3000 BCE and 10,000 BCE dates I'm using, then 7,000 years before you, you could not have taught all those people. No, it's not possible. I can't accept that. He didn't say I can't accept, but he raised the doubt. And so that's when Krishna talks about the concept of avatara. Avatara is there. So we learned that. And then paritranaya sadhunam, etc. And then he talks more about this knowledge and the vision of a jnani, of a wise person. How will a wise person look at this world? And in particular, what is the relationship between action and knowledge? And so karmanya karma pashyet, we saw that. And the wise person is one who knows that Atma is akarta, a non-doer. Therefore, karmani akarmaya pashyet. And then, like that, we saw all these things. And we are continuing that discussion. And the last shloka we did was Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya tripto nirashraya. We were looking at that. And karma phala sangam, we said it's an attachment to the results of things we do, results of actions, and we can even say emotional dependence. emotional dependence on things and people. And so our near and dear ones, very important. But then so once somebody asked, what is this phone ringing exactly at this time, 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:30, like that. So it's breakfast. We get food delivered to our home from outside the campus. So she calls and tells us that food is coming in 5 minutes. So that's the secret of this phone calls, morning phone calls. So that emotional dependence on people, on situations. And so we're all very concerned about family members, and parents are there. Until they become a parent, there is not much concern. Then immediately a child is born, then immediately concerns start. It appears like that. And so concerns are there about what the child does and what they study and where they go. And sometimes one person is very mature, and that person, uh, the lady, she's very mature, and she does what needs to be done and doesn't unnecessarily go behind these children and say, you must do this, you must not do that. And she's watching everything. She's happy and she does whatever, and then she accepts whatever comes. And the husband, just example, okay, this is not a generalization. Don't examples, you have to just enjoy examples. That's all. Don't suddenly say, why did you say this and why did you say that? So the husband is saying, what is this? You're so unconcerned about your children. Huh? You're sitting and reading some book, and in the morning, some odd hours, you're listening to some Jaykumarji, you call him Guruji and all that. And your children, she's not doing well in the exam. Did you notice that? And this fellow has a different problem. He's jealous that she's studying Bhagavad Gita. And maybe, we don't know. These problems are all there. And some unknown guy is sitting somewhere and listening to that person. They've never met this guy. Nobody knows who he is. And you're listening to him. You don't listen to me at all. Okay? So that's his problem. So that she is perfectly fine. She's fine. She has no problem. And she also says, okay, chalo, listen to him and then let go. Okay, what do you need next? So she's okay. She can handle herself. So karma phala sangam. She does what's to be done, and then she lets go. That's beautiful. That's the way life should be, ideally. And so karma phala sangam tyaktva, having given up that intense dependence on relationships and dependence on outcomes. This should be like that. Outcome, my children should be like this. My life should be like that. My job should be like this. So nothing wrong in saying my job should be like this, children should be like that. Nothing wrong. Okay. But things don't work out that way. What to do? If things worked out the way exactly we wanted, there would not be life insurance, the concept of life insurance, correct? So things don't work out our way. And so then, and so Swamiji, Puja Swamiji says here, success. What is success? Success means being prepared for failure. Success, this is a popular topic between me and some youth. Always, there is always this topic. I bring it up. The different definitions we give and make them debate. So success is being prepared for failure. Discuss. Okay. So say, what is this? What is that? Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. So good discussion to have with the children. And so this app, not being prepared for failure, being very idealistic. And Swami Paramarthanandaji gives an example of a cricket match between India and Pakistan. And everything is going well. Emotions, that for shouting, everything is going on. And India wins the match. It is going on in Pakistan. The match is going on in Pakistan. And that's it. India wins the match. And come on, burn the effigy of India, burn the effigy of this, that. Because, we don't want India to win, that too in Pakistan soil. Like that, he gives an example. So I'm reminded of that. So that's because this not not able to handle results that you don't like. So karma phala sangam tyaktva. And so we also talked in the last class that difference between karma and jnana, action and knowledge. Action is very important. All our activities are very important to get us what we want. Antakarana shuddhi. But beyond that, action cannot do anything. Why? How come you're telling me moksha cannot be attained by any action? Well, because you're already a mukta purusha. And Atma is already mukta. And it doesn't need you to save Atma. Atma doesn't need you. And so, but I am Atma. So that is why moksha is important for me. That is why appreciating the difference between knowledge and action is important. And these set of verses help us understand that. And last time we saw that the difference between knowledge and action. So this karma, action, and jnana, knowledge. Samsara, life, depends on karma, and it begins due to ignorance. Knowledge removes their ignorance. Knowledge can only remove ignorance. Nothing else can remove ignorance. Karma cannot remove ignorance. Action cannot remove ignorance. This is the thesis of Vedanta. And therefore, then kartrutvam. Samsara is sustained by kartrutvam, doership. And knowledge removes doership. Doesn't remove responsibility and accountability. Don't equate all these things. Removes doership. In fact, a person who really understands Vedanta makes himself herself fully accountable for everything. No problem, because that's how things should be. And so there is no problem with that person. I don't do, but yet I'm very accountable to what I do. Correct? And so we saw the example of how that in a play, how the actors are all acting their roles. And everything seems to happen. Everything seems real. Everything seems real, but nothing is real in fact. It's a whole thing is a show. Whole thing is a show. So we saw that example last time also. Just a reminder about how to conceptualize this. And so therefore, that action, that karma, how it can be useful? Karma is binding. Karma binds. Why karma binds? Well, because I take myself to a karta, I perform actions, and I'm always expecting something good to happen, and I'm constantly alert. This has to happen, that has to happen. If things don't work out my way, then I have to do something else. So this is how it goes on and on. But then when I convert that karma to karma yoga, then my direction is now entirely different. My goal is not to achieve this or that. My goal, I can achieve whatever I want, but Antakarana Shuddhi is my goal. And then Antakarana Shuddhi, when that is there, then I have the right disposition. I am not under the spell of my likes and dislikes. And Jaktas, and then here, Tyaktva Karma Phala Sangam, all that I can enjoy. Even a Karma Yogi can enjoy that. And then Atma is just a breeze after that. And so that is the vision here. And so that difference, comparison between karma and jnana must be clear for us. And these set of shlokas make it very clear. And so that topic will continue into the next shloka also. So we will translate this shloka number 20. We did not translate it last class, did we? No, we did not. Yeah. Okay. Tyaktva, giving up. Tyaktva, giving up. Giving up what? The emotional dependence, concern, anxiety, sometimes called deep attachment. So giving up, let's use one word, emotional dependence, to the results of action, Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Karma phalam, results of action. So giving up the emotional dependence on the results of action, always contented, nitya triptaha, always contented, being not dependent on anything, nirashrayaha, being not dependent on anything, he or she does not do anything, saha naiva kinchit karoti. Saha naiva kinchit karoti, the last quarter of the shloka. He or she does not do anything, even though api, there is a word api in between, even though fully engaged in action, karmani abhipravrittaha, even though fully engaged in action. So dependence here, dependence when we say, there is from the perspective of Atma, everything depends on Atma. That we've been seeing all along. Atma is Satyam, everything is Mithya. Therefore, Mithya depends on Satyam. Therefore, that person is an Irashrayaha, one who knows that. One who knows the body depends on Atma, but I don't depend on the body. Very important. And therefore, Nirashrayaha. Also, psychological dependence is always there. And so that emotional dependence, concerns about things and so forth. So both kinds of dependencies you can include here, but definitely must include that dependence on Atma. You want to call it philosophical argument, philosophical interpretation. Okay. So giving up the emotional dependence to the results of action, comma, always contented, comma, being not dependent on anything, comma, he or she does not do anything, even though fully engaged in action. And this topic is going to continue in the next sloka also. And let's chant that here. Verse number 21. Anybody would like a chance? Sudha and Satish. Yeah. Nirashihi yata chittatma tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham nirashiryata chittatma tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. Yeah. So here, the first word, nirashihi. So the asha means hope, some expectation. And ashi means one who has hope is called ashi. Ashi. Ashaha asya asti iti ashi. They're all Sanskrit derivations, very beautiful. And so ashi, person, ashi is one who has a lot of hope, who has hope about whatever he or she wants, right? Hope. There's always hope. Hope is what keeps us going, they say. Now, Krishna says a wise person is a nirashi. Nirashi, one who does not have hope. One who does not have hope means what? Hopeless, Situation is hopeless. One who is hopeless. That's what Krishna is telling. And so, hopeless means what? The situation is hopeless. I don't think I can do anything about it. I am helpless. Nobody can do anything. So, sense of victimization, vulnerability, frustration, all that is there. And so that person has not grown out of that person is not necessarily mature. We don't call that person mature at all. And we have to, there are certain situations that can make us feel like that. But we try to find a way to get out of such situations. And situations can be bleak sometimes. And we have to seek help in those situations. But Krishna is not talking about that person. Not nirashihi, nirgataha asha asya iti. So one for whom there is no need for hope. One for whom there is no need for hope. That idea of hope is gone from that person. That person is a nirashi. And a karma yogi already, because of all the Ishwaratmana buddhi and prasada buddhi, already has a lot of this nirashitvam. Nirashitvam is there. And because prasada buddhi is there and it neutralizes one's likes and dislikes. And so doing what is to be done and taking whatever comes as prasada. This beautiful attitude is there. And even the word nirashi can be used for that person. And the person does plan and does things properly, and but is not affected by all the outcomes. Like the lady of the house, the example I gave earlier, not affected by the outcomes. Just I have to do my duty. I'll do it well. And in a play, I have to play my role well, drama. And so the same way, can I play this role well? That is there for a karma yogi. Now, for a wise person, the wise person knows I am not the body. Atma is not the body, and that clarity is there. And so the word yata chitta atma is also used here. And we need to understand that the person who knows I am akarta, the person knows atma is purnaha, etc. The person knows. Therefore, nirashihi, because there is no need to expect something to happen. Something great is going to happen in my life. This idea is not there. It won't be there because the greatest thing I have found already. So where is something great going to happen? This great thing going to happen in my life, idea will not be there for that person. Correct? And so therefore nirashihi and yata chitta. So there are three fragments in this one word. Okay? Yata, yataha, yatihi. You may have heard the word yatihi. And yama, niyama, you heard of all these words, yama. That yama means a mastery over, a restraint, a joyful restraint is called yama. Okay, and that mastery. Okay, a person who has mastery or what? Chitta and atma. Chitta and atma. Mastery over chitta and atma. What is the meaning of that? Chitta means mind, all mind, intellect, emotions, thinking, all processes. The entire faculty of the mind is called chittam here. In this word, that is what it means. And then what about atma? Chitta and atma. What kind of mastery we can have over atma? Well, here atma does not mean this Satchidananda atma. It means shariram, deham, body. It means body. Only the body is what I have to deal with. I don't have to deal with Atma. So, like in one of the shlokas earlier, ahankara vimudha atma mithyacharasya uchyate, like that we saw in the third chapter. So there also Atma means a person. Here Atma means the body. So the one who has mastery over the body and the ways of the mind. Okay. And so that means what? Earlier, even for a adhikari, means one who can pursue a subject like this. And that person himself or herself should have this shamadamadi, shatka sampatti. We saw that. Shamadama means a mastery over one's sense organs, sense pursuits, and mastery over one's uh, uh, ways of thinking, ways of the mind, all that we saw. So for such a person itself, Shamadamadi is there to a large extent. But here, to a complete extent, the person has all those things, Shamadama, Titiksha, Shraddha, etc. Uparatihi, everything is there, Samathanam. All that is there. And that person is a Yata Chittatma. It is referring to that person. One who has mastery over one's body and senses and the mind is Yata Chittatma. And the next word Krishna uses here is Tyakta Sarva Parigraha. Tyakta. Tyakta. Tyakta, we don't know what it means. We know what it means. Previous shloka we saw Tyaktva Karma Phala Sangam. That word Tyakta is there. So Tyagaha. The word Tyaga is there. And Tyaj Dhatu. Tyaj Dhatu. And so one who has given up, one who has done the Tyaga, has given up what? Sarva Parigraha. Sarva Parigraha. Parigraha means possession. Parigraha. Grahanam. So look at that. All these words are connected. You must be able to recognize this. Grahanam. Graha means holding on to. What I hold on to is a possession. Suppose somebody asks, how do you define possession? Well, possession is that which belongs to me. That which is in my control. That's a possession. So yeah, parigraha. Graha. Paritaha. Grihyate iti parigraha. So, what is in my possession? Okay. One who has given up all possessions. So, we need to understand this carefully. One who has given up all the possessions. So, better word to use is ownership than possession. Why? Because possession, everybody possesses something or the other. If, even a sannyasi, Jnani sannyasi, the greatest sannyasi, also possesses these clothes that are there on the body. There is a mala, maybe the person has a mala and possesses whatever little, a kamandalu is there, something or the other is there for survival. Just minimum survival. So therefore that person also has possessions. But he is a tyakta sarva parigraha. He is one who has given up all possessions. Therefore, we have to look at it from the idea of ownership. Nobody can say, I don't have any possessions. Nobody can say, period. Body also is a possession. I have a body. Correct? How can you give up your body? Only if you give up your body and mind, then you can say, I don't possess anything. No, body is a possession because I am not the body. If I am not the body, then body becomes a possession. Correct? So we have to think like that here. And so one who has given up all ownership, idea of ownership. This is me. This belongs to me. All this belongs to me. I own these things. Well, ownership is needed for proper, living. You have to kind of have a piece of paper that says that this house belongs to me. That's okay. That ownership is there. But what is there in your mind? That is what is being talked about. How can a person own anything? Ownership is just an idea out there. It's a piece of paper that says you own this. That's all. Just so that you don't grab my stuff, I don't grab your stuff. That's all. But in a country where people don't grab, they don't need this idea of ownership, correct? Ownership, all the laws we've developed, so we have to protect each other, our property, etc. That is where ownership comes. But then a wise person does not have an idea of ownership. The body itself is given to me. Prasada, given to me. Where is the question of owning? Somebody gave the body to me. Who am I to say I own this stuff? No, I'm not the owner of this stuff. I'm a trustee of my body. trustee. I am supposed to take care of this body. The body has been entrusted to me. Correct? So that's a better attitude to have. And so the question is, what is the relationship between me and the things I possess? This question we have to ask periodically. And how much of this dependence I have on my things, emotional dependence. Physical dependence, please be careful. We're not talking about physical dependence. Physically, I will need a walking stick. I will need people to I'd hold on to. I will need so much help physically. That is okay. That is how Shariram is. There's no choice. The minute I'm 60 or 70, I will need all these things. That's not what is talked about. Emotional dependence. And so in the 13th chapter, he's going to say the main positions. He's going to say asaktihi anabhishwangaha putra dara grihadishu. Like that he's going to say. And he's going to say it's a value. He's going to talk about values, Krishna. And he's going to say one value is not having attachment to things. And what things? Krishna helps us by saying what things. Putra. Putra means children. Krishna is not interested in your iPhone and all that. Putra. Okay. Putra. Children. Dara. Spouse. Wife and husband. And griha. Griham. Home. Over. Adishu. Lest Adi, etc. He says fill up the blanks after that. So these three I'll give you. So that's enough. That defines our life. Putra, Dara, Griha. Or I, me, myself. It's all there in these three words, loaded words. And so therefore, this Sarva Parigraha, we don't have to look at all this. Just imagine. So he's talking about Putra, Dara, and Griha. Home and family is talking about. And what to talk about all the things I keep, and my mind is lost in so many things. And I'm keeping everything clean and polishing and so on and so forth. And this it's like buying a car. Okay, buying a vehicle. New vehicle means, my goodness, the entire family loves it, and everybody volunteers. I want to wash the car. I want to wash the car. And the parents are wondering, what, this fellow? He's actually offering help. I don't see him at all. I call him, he just runs away. He hasn't washed a single glass, tumbler or a plate, and this fellow wants to wash a car. The parents are all shocked or surprised. Not shocked, but surprised. Yeah, give it to him. Let him do. And so everybody is taking care of this car. And time goes on. And 1 year happens. And people have forgotten that this is a new car. It's all gone. And all the newness is gone. All the love and affection you had for the car is gone. And initially this man was saying, look, honey, what happened? Look. And she's saying, what happened? Look, there's some black spot there. Where? Look, near that handle, there is a black spot. Come on, So that's how it was. Now it's like black spots, black patches, white patches, everything is there. And life goes on. So this is how it is. And so he talks about that. Uttaradhara, what to talk about our own selves and the dependence we have. Emotional dependence. And so Tyakta Sarva Parigraha means all these things which I say belong to me. We better learn to ask ourselves, do they really belong to me? Better learn to ask this question. Then only my love also will flower. If I hold on to people, then my love is inhibited. Love is there. Love is always there, but it's inhibited. And so I will project my problems on them, and they also don't want you. Give me space, mom. I need some space. Everybody wants space, So it is always a constant battle. This love means space is also needed. Give me some love, but give me some space also, right? I want to be in my own space. So, but then, really speaking, when this Tyakta Sarva Parigraha is understood, when I can really say, yeah, everything is a blessing. I've got so many things, and yeah, I do depend on many things. but everything is a blessing. This body itself is a blessing. That I could spend some 5 minutes in the puja room. Big blessing. Like that, if I think, then this giving up of this ownership, the idea of ownership will become very easy. And we saw that even in 3.6, sixth shloka. Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasasmaran saha mityacharasya uchyate. Like that we saw. So, because this person, what he decided, he said, oh, everybody says, you have to give up a lot of these things. And so I'm also going to give up. And so he decided to, what do you call that? Scale down. There's a word for that they use. All big house, 5 bedrooms and all that. The 2 people are there at home. Why do you need 5 bedrooms? I don't understand. No. My children, my family, they'll all visit me Christmas time and all. Okay, good. That's very nice attitude to have. But these days, nobody's coming, then what do? And children have their own big houses with 5 bedrooms. So why don't you go to their bedroom? Why do you have to keep 5 bedrooms, right? Why do you need 2 5 bedrooms, 3 5 bedrooms? You don't need that. So time to scale down. Scale down. Let the children learn from you. Scale down. Live in a small place, easy to maintain, and more time to come to Bhagavad Gita classes and do all the stuff you wanted to do. And so that fellow decided, I'm going to scale down. And then what happened? And then the fellow's mind is now thinking about all the stocks and all the money he's invested in all the real estate everywhere. Bedroom, 1 bedroom apartment. But real estate all over the town, there is real estate. Apartments this, apartment that. And so, Mityacharasya Uchyate, 3rd chapter, 6th verse, we saw that. And so, thinking about all the things he owns. Okay. So, no. Scaling down doesn't mean you let go. You let go. Let go. Get used to things that are that minimum. Body doesn't need much to survive, really speaking. We don't need much to survive at all. And I think Gandhiji has said, what did he say? The world has everything we need, but not for our greed or something like that. Yeah. It has everything we need, but not what that doesn't serve our greed, something like that. There's a statement. And minimalistic living. Vijay Mena. Okay. So the person who can say, I can walk out from all of this. I can walk out from all of this. Only such a person is called a successful person. In Vedanta, success means that. We stretch the definition of success all the way. I can walk out from all of this. And how can you walk out from all of this? I'm free. I can walk out. I just need 3 square meals a day. I will get it. A week ago, I saw a news article. Okay. This vice president of this Reliance Petrochemicals, Reliance is Ambani's company, right? And vice president must be a big position. And the news article is this person, I think his name is Vikas Shah or something. Vikas Shah and his wife, I wrote it down somewhere, Naina Shah, both of them became monks, Jain monks. That is the news. Okay. Gave up everything. Just one little white cloth, he has a stick in his hand and he's walking. And this person, 40 years ago, IIT Bombay and chemical engineering. Okay. Don't read too much into all these things. I'm just telling you some facts. This just happened. Okay. And in a chemical company working. And in Jamnagar in Gujarat, he was heading some big projects. And so he walks away. And the article says he's not the first one in the family. His son, 6 years ago, walked away and became a monk, became a sannyas. This is how it is. And so it's the greatness of our culture to see somebody say, yes, I'm free. I don't depend on anything. For somebody to say that, it's such a blessing for humanity. Entire humanity, it's a blessing. So we're very happy about that culture. That's still thriving in India. It's still very much there. And so here, Shariram Kevalam Karma. Krishna says. Kevalam karma. That person who says, I am free. Shariram kevalam karma. That person does things only for maintenance of this body. This body needs some basic requirements. For that, the person does whatever he or she does. Even that person cannot abuse the body. He can't say, I won't eat, I won't do this, I won't do that. He can't say, because the body has to be taken care of. And then remember, must be a role model. Loka sangraham evapi sampashya. So you have to. Now you are a sannyasi, which means everybody's eyes are on you. Until now, people didn't know you. Now everybody's eyes are on you. Therefore, that person's behavior has to be proper. Shariram kevalam karma. Do what is to be done for the maintenance of this body. Very interesting. I'm happy Krishna says that. And that shows that this is realistic. It's not impractical. Suppose you say, no, this is impractical. How it is impractical? It's not, it appears impractical. That we can say, it appears impractical. But no, this is the height. This is the potential. They say, seek out your human potential. What human potential seek out? This is where the human potential is. This is where a human that can say, I am free. That is the human potential. And so, beautiful. And so, that deha abhimana, it's called deha, the attachment to the body is so much. We've grown along with it. We've led so many lives, and this body is so dear to us. And we do whatever it takes to preserve this body and increase longevity of this body. Okay, everybody does that. Nobody is an exception to that. Now, so here, this Swamiji makes it a point to bring up this idea about how many of us spend too much time on our health. Too much time. Okay, means obsessed with the health of the body. Obsessed with the health of the body. And so 1 hour pranayama, another 1 hour hatha yoga, and then food means it's all alfalfa and this and that prepared, another 1 hour gone on that, 2 hours, and then again evening jogging, jogging for 1 hour. Hey, there are 18 waking hours, and out of that 12 hours gone on all this alfalfa stuff. And yoga and pranayama. Nobody said you must do pranayama for 10 hours a day. That's not correct. Obsession. You have to maintain a balance. Maintain some kind of balance. And Swamiji has a say on all these yoga people he calls. Which is Swamiji. These yoga people. And obsession with the body. And constantly, no, yoga, pranayama, think properly, do this thing, and then careful, and then do your meditation and this, that. All ideas are good. All recommendations are right. But then too much emphasis. Moksha is gone. Moksha is gone. Body and mind becomes the goal of the life. Correct? Honestly, look at it. And who is sitting in Swamiji's class? Nagendraji is sitting, S. Vyasa. And look, that shows all the Patanjali yogas, etc. All that, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi is not an end in itself. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is important, but it's not an end. Understand what moksha is, understand what Atma is. Then you can enjoy Patanjali Yoga Sutras. You can enjoy all your Hatha Yoga and Pranayama. Pranayama is not an end in itself. Hatha Yoga is not an end in itself. And in one of the camps, I told you the other day, this Venkatramji was there from S. Vyasa. We are sitting next to each other. We are classmates. S. Vyasa, great institute in Bengaluru, Institute of Yoga, etc. And so, very important. Swamiji would call it, he will say this and then look at Venkatramji like this. Did you get it? And so, very important. Message there is so important that we understand what's what. Otherwise, misplaced priorities. What is a means is confused to be an end in itself. And so, that overemphasis and too much attention on the body, too much attention on the health, physical health of the body is one extreme. And for a sannyasi, so that attention to the body is called dehabhimanam. And for a sannyasi, for a wise person, there is no dehabhimana. No deha. Puji Swami was the greatest example of that, in my life at least. And he was suffering and suffering, and then he loves to teach. He comes and teaches. And then later on quietly he will say, he could not sit. I could not sit. Because lung problem and this problem, all parts of the body are all shaking, and great class, but full of pain, And we used to say there is no dehabhiman. Swami never had it, and so understand these things, and so great physical health and mental health. Mental health is important. Physical health is important. It's exactly like maintaining your car. How will you maintain your car? Think about it. Same way you maintain this. No, oh, I don't put oil at all in my car. Oh, no, not like that. How do you maintain your car? If there's an oil leak from the engine, you better take care of it now. Okay, don't postpone it. Next month, once every, no, not next month. Oil leak is a problem. And those kinds of smoke coming out of, black smoke coming out of your car. That can be a problem. So take a look at that. Now, some scratch somewhere in the back of the car. Don't have to worry. If you want to paint it, you can paint it. But it should not cause you concern. Next time or whenever you take the car, you can tell them, hey, there's some scratches here. Don't paint it. Paint karo. And do that. All this can be done. So that is because that's a balance. You've struck a balance between your life. Now you've got a family, children, all these things are going on, and my car is there in between. So you strike a balance. Chalega, okay, do this. I think the headlights are not working. One headlight is not working. One headlight is not working means what do you do? So my vehicle also, the headlight is off, is gone. So I have to do something. And so now since we are not traveling, I'm okay. But if I have to travel in the night, then I have to worry about it. I have to fix the bulb. So like that, you just maintain a balance. Balance is very critical in our life. And same thing at home also. Keeping everything very clean and tidy, extremely clean and tidy. Dust, every 10 minutes you keep on dusting. Hey, dust will always come. You cannot remove dust. You cannot eliminate dust, especially in India. You wake up, open your mouth, wake up, and then it's full of dust. You can't. That's how it is in our. Our windows are all open, doors are open. So we have a different way of living. And dust will come. Okay, dust whatever needs to be done, and then get back to work. And don't brood over that. So, Jakta Sarva Parigraha and Shariram Kevalam Karma. Get that. And what about that person? So that body, very important. This idea of this obsession with the body. So this patient was admitted in the hospital, and in the bed, so the patient is asking the doctor. Doctor has come to see him. He says, so some kind of disorder, and a terminal disease, let's say. But the patient is handling quite well, and he asked the doctor, what will happen to me after death? The doctor says, we will pack your body and give it to your family. We will clean this bed. We may clean this room also, and then we will admit the next patient. Okay, this is what he said. This is too much. This is just a few months ago I saw that, and so the moral of the story is: don't ask your doctor all these very metaphysical questions about Atma and soul and this and that. Don't get the right treatment from your doctor and walk away from that. And of course, our doctor, we have some doctors. Those doctors you can ask. Dr. Manjula ji, Dr. H. Ramesh sitting there. And then where is Dr. Mohini? Mohini is there. Yeah, we have many doctors in our class. There you can ask. You can ask them those questions. But not any average doctor. And so time is 8 o'clock. All right. So then he says, Kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. So that second word from the last, we have to split it. Kurvan na apnoti. There are three words sticking to each other. Okay, Kurvan na apnoti. And then kilbisham. Kilbisham. Kilbisham means punyam and papam. Punyam and papam. Na apnoti, does not gain. Does not gain any punyam or papam. Okay, look at that. What a beautiful thing to say. Doing what? Kurvan. Doing what? Shariram kevalam karma. Taking care of just the body, just whatever minimum it needs, take care of it, and allow the prarabdha to continue. And doing that, such a person who is a nirashihi, who is a yatachittatma, and who is a tyakta sarva parigraha, that person does not gain any papam and punyam. And we saw that earlier also. And so jnana agni dagdha karma. We saw that word here last couple of shlokas ago. So that person, knowing full well that I am a karta, that person is not going to gain anything, and gain any karma, and all the past karma also is lost. Because the sense that, because karma always binds. Karma binds, and that is a fact. And as long as I take myself to be a karta, I am bound by whatever I do. Even great social service I do, I get bound by it. Okay, we saw that last time. And so, punyam and papam. And punyam is like a golden shackle. Papam is like a iron shackle. Iron can rust. Gold does not rust, but it is a shackle, no doubt. And so, do you want to have an iron shackle, or do you want to have a golden shackle? Suppose you ask this question. What kind of answer we'll get? What? Shackle. You want to be chained by a golden chain or by an iron chain? Okay. So no, it's not going to make a difference. And if you give me some golden, some ornaments, I can keep that. That's a value to me. But being shackled means it doesn't make a difference. And the prince was said, the prince committed a crime, so he had to be executed. And the average person in the country committed a crime, he also had to be executed. And he was executed by, the average person was executed by a steel sword. And those days, sword, it's not like electrocution and all that. So sword. And the prince is going to get executed by a golden sword. And the prince should be happy. Golden sword, right? Look at me, I'm the only one who gets a golden sword, right? No, a golden sword is no consolation for a prince. And did I tell you the story of Manu Nidhi Shoyan in this class? Yes or no? Manu Nidhi Shoyan. No, I did not. Okay. So I had mentioned it in another lecture I gave. So there is a king called Manu Nidhi Shoyan who lived more than 2000 years ago in Tamil Nadu. And during his reign, during his time, there was he had a bell hanging outside his palace. And why did he have the bell? He said anybody who had a problem can ring this bell and justice will be served. And why should he have a bell to do this? Because nobody was coming with problems. There was no crime, nothing going on. And so he decided, my goodness, and I want to be sure, absolutely sure, that nobody is suffering in this country. Okay. So he put a bell, because you may not have access to judges and people, etc. Justice may or may not be served to some people. So anybody, even the penniless person, can come. So one day they heard the bell ringing, and they after a long time the bell rang, and so they went out. The ministers went out and they found a cow. A cow was ringing this bell, and the king comes out and finds out what's going on. Why the cow is ringing the bell? Yes, Maharaj, the cow is ringing the bell because your son was going in a chariot and ran over the cow's calf. ran over the calf. Look, that is a calf. And the calf is crushed under the wheel of the chariot. And the king looked at this. And you know what the king decided? The king said, the pain that you're undergoing, oh cow, I need to undergo that pain. Therefore, because you're the mother, you're the father. And so what he did, he got his prince, his son, the prince, crushed under the chariot. Real story, not a made up story. And this Manu Nidhi Shoyan. And we have sculptures. We have a sculpture of a cow ringing the bell. We have a sculpture of the cow looking at its calf and crying. Stone sculptures. I showed pictures of these things in that lecture I gave the other day. And then the Madras High Court, the High Court in Chennai, they have a statue of whom? This Manu Nidhi Shoyan. And what is there in that statue? Below the statue, in one corner, there is a calf. And then in the other corner, the two wheels are there. And under the other wheel, there is a prince. This is the statue that is there. And it is supposed to have inspired generations of lawyers in our country. That is how it is. And I suddenly reminded of that. This word and prince and all came. So I was reminded of Manu Nidhi Shoyan. And so you can Google that and see. So we will complete this now. And then we will continue the thread in the next class, talking about this shloka number 21. Nirashihi yatachittatma. Tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnoti na kilbisham. We'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.